Do you have the list up?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll be marking it.
I guess we're live. Yay. Okay. Just gonna start to share my screen, and then we will start on the things that we've done over the month of December. And there's a lot. I don't even remember there's so much. So you're gonna have to help me. So off stream, I have Natalia, as always.
Hi.
And we are going to go through the list of things that we've done over the last month. So a little early this month because a little difficult to do this right after Christmas, but still we've gotten a lot done. Plenty to show you. So let's get started. All right. So I'm sharing my screen. Can we verify that people can see?
No, there is black screen.
Let's see. That happened last time too. There we go.
Yes.
Okay. So let's start going through our list. New features. One of the assets had a really large overhaul this time. So I'm looking over at our feature list, and it looks like we added uploading, categorizing, and linking project assets directly. So let's try that. Do I go to projects for that and then show assets from projects?
No, go to assets. We implemented the whole assets part since the last live stream.
This whole thing?
Yes.
Okay, so assets are completely brand new. Assets are like configurations in other PSA systems. This is the hardware under management for the MSP, for the clients. We support many different types of assets, workstations, servers, network devices, everything that you would expect. So this is kind of the dashboard view of the assets. And I'll open up one of our example assets here. This is a workstation asset. So this is all the workstation details. Let me click edit here. And you can there's different types of details for the different types of assets. The idea here is that later on we'll start to collect statistics on the different types of assets, the network switches, maybe the logs from the workstations, alerts, all the typical monitoring metrics. And then we'll create alerting systems or remote access systems or integrate to other products that do those things. So we said that we added assets to projects. To tickets. Okay, so let me take a look at that. So here is the ticket screen, and at the bottom we do have this asset thing. It still needs a little bit of work, but you can attach an asset to a ticket. Makes a lot of sense. If there's a problem with a customer's workstation, you can attach that to the ticket. What else we got? Customer portal view. Let's skip that one. I think that one is in a little bit of rough shape for the demo. Document management, enhanced UI, document types. Yeah, there's quite a bit there. So this is the document management system. It allows you to attach documents all over the place in the application. We've got support for previews of the document that you've uploaded. Like a lot of PSAs, everything is integrated. So if you go to the ticket screen, you can attach a document to the tickets. If you go to a contact or a company, you can attach documents to all those different areas. One neat thing is that we have the ability to link documents. So when you go and let's see, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to a company and I can just link an existing document. So you don't have to keep uploading the same documents over and over. Maybe you have a workstation document that you'd like to attach to all the different workstation assets that you have. You can do that without duplicating that over and over again. So that's pretty neat. In the future, you can imagine when we add the intelligence features and we're looking at a ticket and we're trying to give you advice using some of the language models, we can actually read the documents if you give us access to do so, and use that information to provide better advice. And of course, you can use it yourself for troubleshooting, etc. Do we have anything else for documents? Multi-location file storage. I think I just talked about that. Document types. So we support basically all kinds of document types. You can upload anything you want, but certain ones will be able to preview, like PDFs to start with, and images, for example. Invoice templates. Yes. So keep making progress on invoicing. We are kind of moving right along with that. One of the big updates we did this month for invoicing was that we created some standard invoices. It's a multi-tenant system, so you don't want, I mean, of course, you can't change the standard template that everyone gets by default, but now you can view the templates and you can kind of view example invoices, sample invoices, to see what the template looks like. We have a couple of them here. They're obviously, we're still working on this, but you can take the samples and you can clone them. And for the new templates that you create, you then get this edit template screen. You can make modifications to the view of the invoice, and then you can save that and you can use that for your invoicing template later on. So the idea is you take our sample ones, we're going to add lots of them. You can clone them, they become new templates that are then editable for you, and you can set up the invoicing to look however you want. Password management. Yeah, we were missing some basic features, but we're still going through everything and just relentlessly adding everything that we need here. So is this where you go to?
Yes, just click edit
okay.
user.
And now we have the ability to, is it not in this section? Let me see.
No, it's in that section, but are you an admin here?
Maybe not. People don't let me be an admin to the system.
Try to change your own password then.
Okay, so just open my own user.
Mm-hmm.
Who do I log in as? Dorothy? No, Glinda.
Glinda.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I can change my own password because
that.
Yeah. Okay. So we're working through this, but yeah, finally we can. We're kind of fleshing out some basic features. You can change your own password. Admins should be able to change other people's passwords really soon now. I'm gonna take a risk later on, and I'm gonna try to show the dashboard in a little bit, because that's kind of associated with this. The dashboard, the contacts can become actual users in the system. Those are your customers. Customers are associated with a client or a company, and they can log in, they can see their tickets, they can see the invoices, and yeah, so we'll take a bit of risk. It's Christmas, right? Nothing's going to go bad on Christmas. Background task scheduling. It's not something I can demo, but we've added support for background processes. Lots of that stuff needs to happen. One example is time entries. So based on your time cycle for your billing, the time entries need to be created. Prior to the date when the time period is coming up, I think it's 5 days before by default. I think that's configurable. We'll create the next time period so that your users can continue to add time. Also, you can imagine scheduled billing, generation of invoices on a schedule. So we just wanted to put that infrastructure in place because this will be used in many different places. So we'll have a hosted multi-tenant version with, hopefully millions of users, I think. And then this also runs on premise. So by default, we give something called PG Boss, which is just a little a little task scheduler, but it'll be pluggable. So if you want to use things like Airflow or or different cloud services for scheduling. That'll be possible too. Multi-agent task assignments. This is projects, right?
Yes.
So I will open up a project, and prior to this, you could only have one agent assigned to a given task, and now you can add additional agents. So the this main assigned to that's the user that the task is assigned to. I think it's best practices to have one person who's responsible for every task. Add agents allows you to add additional users, additional people in the system that are also working on that particular task for that project. I think that these associated tickets, I think that's new too, but I don't want to jump ahead of ourselves. Unless we don't have it in the list. All right, so even if I wanted to avoid jumping ahead, then I wouldn't be able to. But anyway, yeah, so you can link tickets too. So if you have, if often when you start a project, what'll happen is you have a lot of tickets that are building up. You see that there's something that needs to be done. And then you build a project so that you can handle that as a ongoing project rather than just a group of individual tickets. But it's nice to have the ability to take that historical information and associate it with the tasks here, so that you have all that.
You can click the button and show how it works and how you can select
all right, so
tickets.
Yeah, let's just, I get scared on demos. I don't want to click on anything I haven't clicked on in a while. Okay, so link existing tickets. You can search for them. Let's see. Do we have any tickets in the system that I can search for?
Just click the select ticket drop down and you will see.
All right. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here we go. So, yep, so these are all the filters at the top. I get it now. This select ticket, the drop down will allow you to actually choose the ticket. Then you can link it. It becomes a ticket here. You can click on it. Will that open up nice? That opens up the drawer over here, which is really cool because in a lot of systems, you're clicking and it's just navigating you all over the place and you get lost under kind of a stack of different screens that you're on. We try to give you the information that you need, but keep you in context. So you've got that. And I think also if you hit create ticket, you get the quick add. Okay, so then you can create a ticket from here, assign a new or create a new ticket, assign it directly or associate it directly at this point. It was very cool. I shouldn't have been scared of demoing that. I apologize. Okay. So what do we got next?
Next is the workflow system.
Workflow system. This is early days, and I actually had this as a different system that I was working on prior to starting the Alga PSA. And so the idea here is that a workflow and automation is at the core of what MSPs are looking for in a PSA. And if all you're doing is you're just storing data, then that's not enough to really get the value out of the system. And I've worked on workflow systems before for PSAs, and they're usually not very well. It's difficult to do something for the first time, but there's a lot of people who do really great jobs with workflows and with no code automation, and kind of learned from that. And this is the beginnings of what we're working on to support automation. A lot of it is you can see there's a lot of AI features that are coming in. You can imagine that we want to just give you the ability to create things that we've never thought of. But some of the things that we have thought of are, if an email comes in, maybe you want to auto classify it, and then you want to create a ticket for that email. So this doesn't work. This is just demoware right now, but you can imagine you can bring in the Office 365 receiver. You can connect it to a particular mailbox. Once you save the workflow, it will start receiving emails as they arrive. You can then come in here, bring in the classifier, add new classifications. So you can add a classification called spam, classification called support, and And then you can have your ticket creator right here, and you can just kind of combine these things together, and then you have an email connector with a classifier. And then we'll have more stuff. So one of the things that we're talking about doing here is a thinking process. And what that will do is allow you to kind of put in different prompts and different models so that you can do essentially anything you want. You can do, classification is one example, but you could also do sentiment analysis, or you can, we'll have it so you can augment tickets. So something comes in, you read the ticket with a thinking process. You can look up information in the system to augment the ticket, and then with the ticket creator or ticket updater, you'll be able to update the tickets with additional information as it's coming in. So really, it's early days, but we want this to be flexible enough so that you can do things that, like I said, we never thought of before. So that is the workflow system. And what else we got?
That's all for the new features. We have some improvements.
Okay. We are on to improvements.
Yeah, task management, how we can drag and drop or move them to different projects.
There's a thin line between new features and improvements. So prior to this update, you would create tasks, and they would kind of get stuck on the project. Sometimes you create things in the wrong place, or you're reorganizing stuff. So we add the ability to move things around. Help me out here. How do we do it?
And then move to on the top. Go up, move to, and click the drop down.
Is it on the screen? Oh, move to. Okay, so yeah, awesome. You can actually click down here, and you can click on different projects, and then if the project has phases, they'll expand out, and then you can click through all the way to the status. Very cool. So you can, that's really easy. So you can move a project from anywhere to anywhere. That is very easy. Very cool. All right, what's next?
More to billing system.
Okay. International tax support and tax exempt handling. Yeah, we have that, but I'm not quite ready to talk about it. I don't think it's fleshed out enough. But yeah, so we're trying to make the invoicing system flexible enough to handle most of the common ways of handling taxes across the world, but even that is enormously complex. So a lot of jurisdictions have taxes that are layered. So you have federal taxes, regional taxes, and then some of the taxes even within different regions are layered as well. Different services have different tax rates. In some places like in Florida here, many services are not taxable at all. So those are untaxed. And we're just kind of working through the process of trying to support 95% of all the different taxing systems, but probably come back to that one next time. Credit balance tracking. Oh, right. That's a good one too. So now under invoices, we have heard from a lot of people that the automatic invoicing that happens in typical PSA systems, it's, that's what you use typically, but you always need manual invoices. And then you want payment upfront as well in many cases. So we're supporting that. The manual invoices, they allow you to create an invoice in the typical way. You just can select the services, the quantities. You can add line items and create a manual invoice there. For prepayment invoices, it's exactly what it sounds like. You choose the client, choose the amount of the prepayment, generate the prepayment invoice, and then once you do, that prepayment invoice will be offset against future automatic invoices or manual invoices. So when you invoice from that point forward, you draw down the prepayment invoices. It's a credit. So you can, so And then also prior to this, in last month's call, we didn't have the ability to create the automatic invoices, but you can see we're working through that now. These are the ready to invoice billing periods. As the periods, as you progress past the end of the period, things become eligible for invoicing. You can then select them and you can generate the invoices. And then obviously with the work that we're talking about just prior, where you're doing automatic scheduling, the invoices, if you choose to do so, can go out, as soon as the period is finished. So that can all be automated. Automated billing cycle creation with flexible frequencies. Very similar. Yeah. So, yep, very, very similar. Hierarchical categories in tickets.
Is that new?
I think so. I think so. That's this, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So categories, subcategories, types. These are typical PSA ways of categorizing tickets. We want to support that too. I think we have the ability to do arbitrary levels deep, but right now we're only showing or allowing for 3.
Maybe you can show in settings where you create these categories.
Sure, I'll do that. Yeah, so really simple. Just a nice little drop down here where you can choose the hierarchy, and then under ticketing, this is how you configure it. So you come into here. We can add a new category. Let's see. Let's try to make it topical. How do you spell reindeer? I think that's right. Reindeer care. Do that. Specific channel from the dropdown.
On the right side.
Oh, that makes sense. So urgent matters, obviously. Okay, so then under here we can
add a subcategory into this category.
Yes.
Or edit existing.
You can edit it. Exclamation point. I think this is not. Oh.
Yeah.
Got
now
it.
It's creating a subcategory.
So feeding. So very nice. So this is how you create new categories and subcategories for your tickets. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. All right.
Technician dispatch. I think we can show all the scrolling and drag and drop effects.
Yeah.
Technician dispatch.
Yeah, this was pretty basic last time. This is the. Let's see if I can zoom out here a little bit. So this is the work that we're doing on the technician dispatch. This is where you get an overhead view of what people are working on for a particular day, and your dispatchers can schedule people to work on particular items. So it's a nice drag and drop interface where you can assign work, and then of course you can view the entire list of your team, so you get a nice view of what everyone is working on for that particular day. I mean, even before, it only was working the last time we showed this for one day. Like you couldn't assign things for the next day. And I think that we also added paging here as well, and also filtering. So the next and previous days, I believe also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm Glinda Good, so assign myself something. These are color coded, by the way, for tasks versus tickets. Let me put a ticket in here just to see if that's true. Yeah, so they are color coded. I just happen to be choosing the same kind of thing over and over again. And then if we go to the schedule, then you look, yeah, you'll see that, of course, this is my schedule. I've been dispatching onto my schedule. And then there was a scroll effect. Did you see that? That was pretty cool. It was scroll to the business hours. Yeah. Also, prior to this, you could not schedule at all outside of business hours. So yeah, lots and lots of improvements to the technician dispatch.
Team management is
okay, that's the settings, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so the teams before were completely broken, I would say. It was just we hadn't finished it yet. Team assignments are ways for you to create um, hierarchies in the organization so that you can assign approvers to time entry. So you create a team. The team has a team manager that's by default the approver, and then you can add members to the team as well. So you click here, click add a member to the team, or remove them. Once the team is set up, then you can go to time approvals. I'm not even sure we showed timesheet approvals the last time. And it looks like there's no timesheets on my test environment for approvals. So looks like we won't be showing it this time either. Although I might, when I'm brave on the dashboard side, maybe we'll try it. Okay. Lots of bug fixes.
Something we can really show, but you can mention.
Look, it works now. Oh yeah, Docker configuration. I don't know. That's going to be difficult to see, but I can describe it. It was kind of hard to set up this PSA before. I had a setup video that we had recorded, and there were a lot of things you had to do, copying files, and you had to have NPM installed, and we got feedback that it was probably too many steps, and we knew that, but kind of prioritized making that a lot easier. We have a new, let me see if I can, I don't think they'll see my screen if I change the tab, but we have a new documentation layout in GitHub, and you can see how to do a quick start. We have a setup guide. It's pretty easy. We make it so that you copy the environment variables, or basically your settings for a brand new PSA, create some files for the secrets, passwords, and things like that, and then it's just one command, and it will build the Docker Compose for you and start it, and you can log in. So performance enhancements, you can see this was incredibly fast throughout this demo. Unbelievable performance enhancements. And yeah, like I said, really overhauled the documentation a lot. And that's just part of making this a healthy open source application. Everything you saw today, except for the workflow, is the community edition. Portions of the workflow will be community edition, but there's going to be some things that are going to require us to run services and things. And so we're thinking through the kind of the split there, work CE versus EE. So that is what we had for everyone. And let's check in with the team and see how things are going. Anything in the Slack or anything? All right. I think we are good. This has been the holiday edition of the Alga PSA feature extravaganza. See you all next week or next month. Bye. Next year, should I say that? Dad joke? I'm getting old now, so. All right, everyone. Bye. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.